Okay, here we are back in Octopath. So, I don't have the mythical horn yet, but I have everything. Okay, I'm missing the cog for this one. It's this one that I have. So the Great Blade I mugged from someone. Well, I didn't mug. I it was at Sai, I think it was. Go there at night. You can get it with either Agnia or Mug, or it's kind of up to you. Dang it. So we'll go ahead and give the 3 items over. Someone's using the Guardian Axe. And of course they're not even with me. They have to make this so freaking complicated, man. Why do you even make it out of equipment? The Ancient Cog, I'm not sure where we picked that up exactly, but we're gonna go knock out Osvald 4. Right there's the Guardian Axe. Oh man, it's not even that strong anymore. Oh well. So, change party. We are going to put Osvald in for Particio. We're not going to go with... I should change one of them to Thief. And we can take Agni out for Casti, I guess. Yeah, it's weird to see all these merchants. Kind of expected him to be in his clothes that we see him here in the group, but whatever. Oswald finds his way to Montwise, a city on the eastern continent. Though keenly aware he may be walking directly into Harvey's trap, he nonetheless heads for the city's impressive library. Not sure where that final book is either.
In this world, magic is derived from 6 elements: fire, ice, lightning, wind, light, and darkness. However, there is one phenomenon that cannot be explained by the magic power of these elements: the Pit of Darkest. 400 years ago, the sage Grattan observed the pit, and his conclusion was thus: the answer is clear. Only power beyond the 6 sources could open a pit of this size. There exists a 7th, I am sure of it. Thus was born Grattan's hypothesis, the cornerstone of our magical studies. It was he who suggested the existence of the one true magic.
And I shall stop you there, for I have perfected it.
Hmm?
Is this a joke? You call that the one true magic?
Impossible! How could you?
It's mere lightning magic. It has limits, no matter how much power you pour into it. You're approaching it all wrong. There's little point in you continuing your research as it stands.
How fascinating. Those formulae may work.
Damn! You rotten thief of joy!
I take it you meant that to be a kindness to the poor boy. Would you care to elaborate?
Lightning, fire. The 6 sources are physical elements. Physical elements have limits, so it follows that the power drawn from them does too. In other words, I posit that the seventh source is not physical in nature.
Fascinating. I am Harvey, and I was just beginning to tire of the theories of ordinary folk.
Osvald,
Osvald, tell me, how did you arrive at this supposition?
mathematics. I've been experimenting with the conversion of magic into mathematical equations.
Now that is truly intriguing. I've taken a biological approach. I study the blood of monsters. Would you indulge me for a moment, Osvald, and hear my theory?
Go on, speak freely. I was elated. I'd finally found someone who thought on my level. And what's more, Harvey felt the same. We debated our theories. Each meeting resulted in impassioned discussion. But I'd overlooked something. His meticulously hidden malice. Montwise. The vast stores of knowledge contained within its library attract scholars from all across the continent. Is that where you've run, Harvey? Have you made progress with your research, now that you've left me with nothing? I suppose I'll have to find out for myself.
So, yeah, Particcio's voice actor, I don't know if he really has that accent or what, because he didn't really do a good job of hiding himself as that role. Okay, that was the side quest we did already. I was curious if any new NPCs popped up. I'm not seeing anyone.
Now, as you all know, we humans must study magic in order to use it. But what of all the monsters in the world? Why can they use magic without studying? What is the source of their power? After experimenting on countless specimens, I have the answer. It is in their blood. Yes, the very source of their lives is also the source of their magic power. Behold, a frost bear. From the blood of this creature, we can extract crystals brimming with ice magic. If we simply imbue these crystals with magic, we can use magic with no need for incantations. From frost bears come ice crystals. From salamanders come fire crystals. Based on crystal number and purity, we can create even more powerful magic. However, these are, of course, still bound to the 6 sources. Grattan's hypothesis continues to torment us.
Professor Harvey, it was an honor to hear your lecture.
They say you're the second coming of Grattan.
Professor Harvey! All of academia watches your work with great anticipation. Grattan's hypothesis, the final mystery. Are you close to finding the 7th source?
Now. Do not try to make news where there is none to be had. I have another problem to solve before I worry about the seventh source. Namely, what to get my daughter for her birthday, which is quite soon.
An expert deflection.
He lives and breathes his studies. I never see him outside of his lectures.
So, this is the library. Where are you, Harvey? Perhaps I shall put the others in the building under some scrutiny to find out.
Guess we head down. Wow. Found quite the interesting document here the other day. It's interesting that this is 90% because I'm higher level than I'm supposed to be.
What's this?
A scholar who, while looking into records of an ancient kingdom, found mention of a secret passageway inside the library. He brought it to Harvey's attention only to have it dismissed out of hand. Professor Harvey's a genius. I can't wait to see what incredible discovery he'll make next.
What's this?
Harvey's whereabouts. A scholar who was deeply impressed by Professor Harvey's thesis. She follows Harvey after each lecture, hoping to catch up with him for a quick word. But the professor always slips out of sight, somewhere in the library's basement. What do I think of Professor Harvey? I can't really say I don't know him all that well.
Well,
A scholar researching the many minerals of Celestia. He desperately wishes to read the geology books on the library's second basement floor, but finds his efforts to reach them stymied by Professor Harvey, who spends lengthy spans of time in front of the shelf they occupy. An eyewitness to Harvey. Seems there's a hidden passage somewhere in the library. That must be what Harvey uses to access the building. I should look for a hidden passage of some sort.
based on the information I've gleaned, the passage should be in this area. Aha. So this is how you've hidden your work from prying eyes. Allow me to take a look for myself.
So, I think it's daytime. Let's turn to night. Oh yeah, there's enemies here. That enemy was like Thunder Guardian or something like that. I was able to steal, well, collect 1,000 leaves a pop from them, and there were 3 of them, so nice little payday. I'm trying to figure out what that room was. Might be a pantry or something? So if I can run into 3 of them, they're actually decent EXP. If I run into 2, I get a little bit of leaves, but it's not really enough to justify the fight, in my opinion. Oh, that was a fire soulstone, by the way. Large, I think.
So, this is Harvey's laboratory. Are these chimeras? He's combining creatures to create new varieties. This kind of study is forbidden. He mixes the blood of monsters and attempts to create even stronger magical abominations. He presumes this will lead him to the one true magic, and so he worked on it in secret. That said, I've never seen chimeras like these before. Did he employ my formulae to arrive at these combinations? Harvey. He's trying to find the seventh source. Has my work yielded any breakthroughs for you? Were you able to take the next step? Why, I wonder? My breast should be aflame with the thought of vengeance. And yet even now, I yearn to read his theories. How odd. These must be his test subjects. They're quite something. You see me as your enemy, then so be it. I suppose I'll evaluate the results of Harvey's research myself.
I suppose I have no choice.
Prepare
I
yourself.
wonder if Oshek could capture any of these. I doubt it.
Very well. Blaze on, flame.
This won't do.
No.
And sadly, it's a very wide strike zone for what they may be weak to.
Well, now.
Actually, one thing I want to look at. Extending status effects. I think it's only ailments, not debuffs. Oh.
Thinking time. Pierce them. Winds of frost.
Smite them. Is that the spot?
There we go, we found the last one on that one.
Now it begins.
What to do? What to do?
This isn't ideal.
As much as I hate to say it, she's the only one who's really injured, so let's do this.
Fear not. I will keep you from harm.
What to do? What to do?
I'm not well. This was inevitable.
So that's about as much to get from a random encounter.
What to do? What to do?
I think I may have tried that one already.
Be healed.
I'm grateful, Temenos.
Pierce them. Winds of frost.
My turn. Much appreciated.
Okay, that one actually had a decent payout.
Where was I?
And since I'm getting bored, let's just peek. Spear.
Well now, no mercy, only pain. Poison slash.
Oh dear. Be healed.
Thank you.
My turn.
Well now.
Now then. Strike them down, broken.
Bravo, Osvald.
So I'm expecting this weakness to be stick.
You won't.
I need a plan. This was inevitable.
Okay, the salamander was worth the most.
Here I go. These hands. Axe attack.
Prepare yourself. I fight for my friends. How?
That sucked. Yeah, you had that coming.
Well now.
To work. Here I come. I still have much to learn.
So we did get an overkill at least. You can see Hikari is lagging way behind the others. Magic Nut, Light Nut, Fortifying Nut. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going nuts. I was expecting that to be the end.
You've kept me waiting, Osvald.
Harvey.
I didn't think you'd make it. You've earned a passing mark.
Harvey, you...
Yes, there is much to say, but first, question. Did you understand the thrust of my research prior to your arrival?
In the abstract. I see that you have overcome a major hurdle with the help of my formulae.
And for that, my friend, I thank you. I have stolen your research and made it my own. I finally have fame and recognition. All while you shivered on Frigid Isle, eating whatever chilled slop they fed you. Painful, is it not, Osvald? Everything that once was yours is now mine. I have it all.
You can have my research. But I will never understand why you had to take my wife and child. Why, Harvey? Why take Rita and Elena too?
Think, Osvald. The critical mind is our source, if you will.
What is this?
Incredible! This power It's absolutely beautiful.
Impossible. Where are you drawing that magic from? Harvey, what have you done? Tell me the source of this power!
Was that a shout of amazement, Osvald? You see now what I've accomplished, don't you? That is why I made you my closest friend. You were the only one who understood. And this is its source. A little someone I stole from you.
What are you talking about? Voice. Rita? Can it be? No. She's dead. The fire.
Nonsense, my dear friend. You found a corpse at the scene, but it was not her corpse. 'Twas that of another. Goodness no, she didn't burn. I abducted her. I needed her blood, you see.
My dear.
Is that really you, darling?
Yes, Osvald. It's Rita, your beloved wife. And I made this creature with her blood!
You monster. How could you? How far will you fall, Harvey?
As far as I need to, if it means finding the answer. Now, see for yourself the product of my research.
Rita.
Well, we found the stick weakness. So that means the majority of the stuff here is going to be elemental. Grieving golem enemy.
This'll cool you down.
So expecting it to be fire and ice, to be honest.
Pain.
Oh dear. Be healed.
Thank you.
My turn.
Thinking time. Indulge me for a moment.
Okay.
What to do, what to do.
Here I come.
Oh dear. You won't bring me back.
Now then.
Well, before we do that, let's verify. Actually, 1 second. Okay. So we cannot collect off it. Let's analyze.
Let me look.
What have we... Oh. So it's either light or dark.
My turn.
Where was I? Be healed.
Thank you.
So it just randomly steals stuff. So I'm curious if that gets rid of it.
Just a moment.
Of course not.
Well,
Does have something we can steal. I don't even know if this thing's a magic attacker or not.
Osvald. Osvald!
I think this stick may be his best weapon. Although I could rest here.
Just a moment.
Very well. Holy light, illuminate the darkness.
Here I come. Not this time. Prepare yourself. I fight for my friends. It's over.
Here I come. These hands! Poison slash.
To work.
Yeah.
Holy light, illuminate the darkness.
Now then. Calculation in pursuit of knowledge. Pierce them. Wings of frost.
Now it's time for the blood boils.
I need a plan.
Just wanted to double check.
Just a moment.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to think of what I can do to really be annoying here.
Be healed.
That's the hope.
What to do? I have a talent for making do. Naughty deeds.
I was hoping to get 5 turns of poison, not just 3.
My turn.
So it seriously gets 5 turns. I'm not hallucinating that.
Where was I? Be healed.
Well now.
Now then. Found a weakness.
And it just takes away your stuff at random.
Where was I?
Thinking time.
Could be darkness that's still there.
Let me look at you.
Yep. 35,000 HP remain.
My turn. Poison slash.
So depending on what it does here, it has more than enough firepower to probably kill the party twice over. In case you thought I was joking.
Where was I? Be healed.
With Hikari being the weakest link, I'm not really in any rush to revive. Well, in case you want Temenos to fully heal, that's now a thing of the past.
Now then. Pierce them. Wings of frost.
By the grace of the flame bringer.
Cannot die yet.
My turn. Sit down, will you?
I can still fight.
Be healed.
You have healing hands.
Now then.
Forgive me, Rita.
Strike true.
Well now, these hands.
Okay, which way do we want to go about this? Well, if I just want to steal.
No mercy, only pain. I'll take it.
That's totally not worth it.
Where was I? You won't believe
Got 2 ice cats there.
Now it begins.
My turn.
Lost her BP.
Casti! Be healed.
Lost almost all my SP.
Here I go. Sit down, will you?
Now it begins.
Very well. Lo, rigid wing, mark.
So I got nothing now.
Poison slash.
Thinking time.
I don't know if they can die from
In pursuit of knowledge.
that black flame or not.
Pierce the frost.
My turn. Here.
I am in your debt. Oh dear. Be healed.
Apologies, Temenos.
Let me look at you.
20,000 remain. I've made
Prepare
almost no
yourself.
headway here.
My turn. Play nice.
So it's most likely going to do its 5-turn thing, maybe 7 turns now.
To work. Be
I'm
healed.
try to use the super stick next turn.
Thinking time. Indulge me for a moment.
My turn.
Now it begins.
Oh dear. You won't believe that.
Thinking time. Just a moment.
Have her defend.
Well now.
Here I come. My blade sings.
Here I go.
Bravo, Casti. You won't believe that.
Now then.
And there's just no telling what, if anything, I'll have left.
Indulge me for a moment.
Took my BP.
Prepare yourself.
My turn. These hands.
Very well. Be healed.
That's over.
Now I'll end it. Blood boils.
Now then.
So yeah, so now it takes 14 to break it, and its gauge, not that much. At this point, like, we're better off just trying to go for the kill, I think.
Thinking time.
Need to rest.
Just a moment.
Well now.
Now it begins.
Now then. Indulge me for a moment.
Got 2.
Oh dear.
Only 1.
Osvald.
There's no guarantee the next move's gonna be single target anyway, but let's see what we can do. Let's see.
Use this to
A
great
new
effect.
beginning.
For a true friend.
Where was I?
So I'm better off doing heal wounds here.
Be healed. Fighting is not what I do.
So that still counts as an overkill. Oswald got nothing. You can argue he deserved it.
No. This isn't my Rita. You've merely given her blood to this thing. It lacks her soul.
Yes, there are the powers of observation I admire. Well done.
She's dead, isn't she?
Of course. She'd served her purpose.
Forgive me, Rita. I brought this upon you.
Well, well. Even you have a heart.
What's this? Could this be? What gives this creature life? What is it? It's black as night. I've never seen its like before.
That is the answer. I've found it at last. The 7th source.
What?
So, you don't know, then? That creature was born of the blood of the Lumina family. Rita Lumina. Her family is known as the lineage of light. And, as you well know, bright light gives birth to the darkest shadows. The power of the shadow.
The shadow.
I spent countless hours and no small amount of effort trying to ascertain its location. Imagine my surprise when it turned out to be your wife. What nonsense is fate? With that knowledge in hand, I took your research and family from you.
What did you do with Elena?
What do you think I did?
Papa?
Elena. Is that you? Oh, you're alive.
needs me? Come.
Are you hurt, Papa?
Oh, I'm fine, Elena. You had better worry about the man over there, I think.
Who is that?
Elena.
Did I not warn you against entering my laboratory, Elena?
I'm sorry. You didn't come home. I was worried.
What is happening? Elena's been... Harvey, you...
Oh, you should see the look on your face as your mind ground to a halt. Elena, I'm about to conduct a very important experiment. One that, as it happens, involves you. I will show you later.
Yes, Papa.
I've taken Elena in to raise as my own. Oh, and I've taken the liberty of altering her mind. Just a bit.
What are you saying?
Oh, don't worry. It's nothing more than I do in my experiments on the monsters.
Harvey, you're the monster.
Now, as you saw, Osvald, Rita was a failure. Fortunately, Elena's blood is even better than her mother's. This time, I shall finish it. I shall find the one true magic.
Wait! Harvey, no! No!
Papa? Hey, Papa!
Ah, Elena.
Can I watch the experiment with you?
Of course, but isn't this all terribly boring?
Uh-uh. Will I be in the way?
No, of course not, dear. Elena. Elena's alive. At last, a modicum of peace from my ragged heart. No doubt because I've lost half the reason to enact my revenge. Yet, at the same time, the fire in my breast burns ever brighter. My daughter, Elena. I've been erased from her memory. By Harvey. And now he's taken her. Where? Where has he taken her? The lineage of light. That's what he called it. Dark Hest pursued that line of research, among others. Which means There's only one place he could be. Gravel. The resting place of the Archmage himself. The time for revenge has passed. But I've made up my mind. I know what must be done. I will get Elena back. I swear it.
She lives. Elena, Osvald's precious daughter, lives. In an instant, Osvald's priorities are rearranged, and life itself given brand new meaning. A tiny light flickers in the dim purgatory of his existence. Now, in order to save his daughter, Osvald lights out for unfamiliar territories one last time. Osvald the Scholar, Chapter 4, End. So yeah, what annoys me about that one is that the boss attacks the BP, well, random stats, I'll put it that way. Because so far I've been trying... Oh, he's dead, that's why. I've been trying to, not break the game too bad, use the certain combinations and so on. Like, namely, you've only seen me use Temenos with the latent scholar thing a handful of times. Fights like that make me think you're supposed to use it every single fight. If it's going to attack your random crap like that, it shouldn't be that bulky. It shouldn't be that hard to break. Especially if it takes your BP, because you have to rely on multi-hit skills like Hikari's sword, Temenos' stick. Otherwise, it takes an eternity to break those suckers. So here we go. Real City Man. Pretty much that's why that's the thing I hated most about Golden Sun 2, is they got in the habit of attacking the Djinn. Sadly, they did it in the third one too, which is why I'm not in any rush to see that series ever get revived. Oh my. I've never seen so many books in one place before. This is where a great many of the continent's tomes reside. I came through here countless times as a student. That's incredible. Hearing you say that makes me feel you're a real city man, Osvald. I'd love to learn more, just like the folks here are doing. Well, you certainly have the right attitude for it. Tell me what you like to read, and I'll take you to it. In that case, are there any books on dancing? I believe those were on the stacks to the east. I think you'll find the Western Dance Compendium a particularly worthwhile read. And here I didn't take you for much of a dancer. My wife. She loved it, you see. Avid readers. So this is where the war records are kept. Do you enjoy reading as well? I do. The Royal Palace in Ku has a library of its own. Kazan taught me the importance of reading at a young age. And when it came to records of battle, he'd open mock war consoles to stimulate my mind, to help me envision past victory without bloodshed. Oh, a fascinating approach. Then perhaps the War of the Great Wall would be of interest to you. It contains records of a war between two great nations on the eastern continent. Might that provide some mental stimulation? It certainly would, and history is of great interest to me. Seventh source. Oshet's hypothesis is a jerky. You're studying the seventh source, right, Pops? Well, I think I know what it is. Oh, do tell. The seventh source is meat, I think. Come again? Well, eating meat makes you really strong, so meat must be a great source of power. Fire, ice, lightning, wind, light, darkness, and meat. No, I don't think that's right. I know, you didn't really try it. What kind of scientist do you make yourself out to be? A Waste of Time Part 2. If I were hiding in a tree, I'd plant it in the woods. Therefore, if I were hiding in a passageway, I'd fix the mechanism that opens it to a book or a bookshelf. That's a fine point. I once came to this library on an errand from the Pontiff, you know. The librarian at that time was a most peculiar character who... Forgive me, this has nothing to do with the matter at hand. I don't mind. Oh no, I thought you abhorred long irrelevant tales. They are a waste of time, yes, but every once in a while, they're a welcome diversion. Well, aren't I lucky? So then let us discuss the proper treat one should consume when engrossed in a riveting tome. Now that is absolutely a waste of time. Throne's advice. You know, Osvald, it isn't like you to carry so much tension in your shoulders. Let me give you some tips, things that I do when I'm on a job. Move carefully and deliberately, especially when you're in a hurry. And keep a cool head, even when your temper flares. Take care of yourself, Professor. Being so close to one's goal would set anyone's heart racing. But you mustn't lose your composure lest you fall into your foe's trap. You make an excellent point. I shall take it to heart. Harvey. Osvald, I'm no expert on research or nothing, but even I can feel the power radiating off these monsters. This Harvey fellow's a real wily one, isn't he? He used to be worth engaging with, truly. But now, he's devoted his mind to wicked pursuits. Harvey, I shall have my revenge on you. And I'll help you get partner. And finally, Elena. Thank goodness, Elena lives. But that fiend has done something to her mind. Don't worry, her body won't be affected as far as I can tell. And her memories haven't been erased, not completely. Once she sees something that reminds her of the truth, her memories will return. Osvald, I promise you this. If you get Elena back, I will heal her. I want to help you. I trust your opinion a great deal. I accept your offer. So I believe that actually was all 7 characters. Alternating female to male. So yeah, the only thing left in Montwise now, it's actually on the map, and you guys will know what I'm doing next time. I'm the Hero of Light, thanks for watching, and goodbye.